3, 2, 1.
Hello, welcome. Dear friends, welcome to another edition of our Wednesday webinars. I am Maru Aliaga, and I am Director of Product and Marketing at Condor Travel. Inés Valenzuela, our Product Manager and usual host of course, Master Webinar Organizer, this time is backstage with our commercial team, ready to help you with your questions that can be placed in the box that you will find at your left. Today I am in front as I will be moderating this awesome panel that we have today. Today we wanted to present you something different and lay the ground for a topic that has always been at the core of Condor Travel. We've always searched to add value to our guests and add value to our destinations. That's been Condor Travel's drive, and today more than ever is what keeps us motivated and ready to innovate in our experiences and in the ways we deliver our service to you and to your guests. We believe that tourism can be a powerful tool to make us grow, to broaden our minds, to create cherished memories with our loved ones, and even with ourselves. Those kind of memories where we return in difficult times to replenish our souls, such as these times when we are all in lockdown. We've all thought about travels that we've done before. Travel enables connection, explorations, and help us understand different ways to see the world. You all know this, and this is probably why you have chosen this profession. Also, tourism, if well planned, can also be a very good source of income and employment, and in developing nations, help balance the economy in rural areas and empower the most vulnerable populations, such as women, for example. We all know tourism helps preserve cultural, natural, and intangible heritage, such as archaeological sites, natural parks, or even costumes such as weaving, for example. Our business holds power in that it creates sustainable means for development, offers alternative uses for natural areas that more than ever are needed to be preserved, and of course, it connects people from all over the world. We believe that all these factors will be of uttermost importance in the future of tourism after a coronavirus pandemic. And this is why we felt it was important to open this virtual space to share and exchange ideas about this with you. To enable this, we have enabled a magnificent panel of our colleagues who will share their thoughts and experiences with us. On our panel, we have Alessia Kossmehl. She's head of our NGO wings, and she will tell us about how tourism has helped our communities and the plans we have for the future. Alessia is passionate about community-based tourism, as well as expanding accountability on the footprint we make in all the areas, not only on the ground, but also in the office. Jascivan Carvalho, he's head of Condor Travel Ecuador. Jassi has always been advocating responsible tourism. Being Ecuadorian and working in pristine environments with local communities such as Galapagos or the Amazon rainforest has enabled him to know firsthand how tourism can be a great tool to protect natural areas and cultural heritage. We also have Celina Grisi, manager of Ecolodge Estancia on the Sun Island in Bolivia. Celina is a passionate advocate of permaculture, sustainable construction, and minimizing our impact as humans. Her lodge is a great example of how tourism can benefit a community and allow at the same time visitors to connect to such a special place like beautiful Sun Island on Lake Titicaca, and at the same time operate sustainably and generating good impact on the community surrounding the area. We also have Ángel Grández. Ángel is our operations manager at Condor Travel. As we all know, operations and the field staff are at the forefront of our business. It is where the magic happens. Ángel will tell us in which ways we work with our guides to deliver valuable experiences for our guests and the hosting communities. And also where we are focusing our efforts these days to reduce our operational footprint. Without further ado, we want to start our panel discussion. First up is Alessia. Hi, Alessia, how are you? Your mic. You have to turn on your microphone.
Sorry. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Ale. Good. Ale, please tell us a little bit about Wings, how it all started, what are the projects you're now?
Okay, and it's a pleasure for me to be here and to speak you a little bit more about Wings and our projects. So Wings is a non-profit association that is part of the Condor travel team. And it was founded in 2008 when we wanted formalize the social support that Condor Travel was already doing in Cusco communities and bring all this help to another level. The Misminay community was interested in receive passengers. So Wings presented a project proposal to the Inter-American Development Bank to develop community-based tourism. And here begins all the journey that I want to share with you. So since then, Misminay community has been our top main successful project. And Condor Travel has supported Misminay and all the project from the beginning and was with the project during all the process and is still compromised with it. This is very important because we can now see all the achievement we have with this. And we started the project with technical training and material donation to improve all the basic service. It's very important to improve the quality. And thanks to the effort of all the families and the continuous improvement system that we have been implemented in Misminay, the community obtained an award for the best quality service for tourism-based community in Misminay. So this is very, very important for us. And other achievements we have with the project, for example, is that it's a self-sufficient project. The economy incomes of the families have improved, and therefore they have also a better health, food condition, and in general, notable improvement in the quality of life. And you can see it, you really can see it. Also, we have an project for have access to drinkable water. The women have been empowered. This is also a very important achievement. But I think the most important one is that the young people, they have completed their studies in Cusco and then return to the community because they see an opportunity there. And okay, the passengers love the experience they have in Misminay because you can do really local things like elaboration of mud bricks or potato harvest, couple blessing, Quechua lessons. I don't know, they have an amazing landscape. So it's very nice to be there and it's touching. And we wanting to replicate this project in other communities. So we have applied and won funds from the United Nations Development Program to improve basic conditions to develop tourism in Villacota Maura and Tacna, in Vinicunca, that it's the 7 Color Mountains, and the 3 Canyons there that is in Cusco. And we will finish the project at the end of the year because now we are paralyzed with the pandemic. So there's you have seen some photos. There's really, really nice places. And we want to add value in not only in Misminay, like in a lot of products. So you can see other photos, for example, that we work hand in hand with the product area to create memorable experiences that are valuable to visitors and that in turn generate also value for the destination. And this is important without compromising the quality of service. No, this is also important. And this travel experience awakens the passengers a great awareness that reconnect themselves and with the environment and to another level. It's really about reconnecting. And it's also very satisfactory for them to participate in volunteering, donating materials, building schools, like you have seen also some photos, because this brings also, they feel they give back and to the destination, no? And it's important that this help is well managed, can be real local needs, and can be followed after making like the donation. So they have making construction, bio gardens, and other things with very nice stories behind of that. And to complete my intervention, I wanted to tell you that we have a beautiful vision now, and we would really love to fulfill this vision, that is develop another community-based tourism project like this in Misminay I told you before, but this time from the beginning go hand in hand with some other clients who like the idea that be part of the beginning to develop a long-term sustainable social project and share our philosophy or interest in sustainability and good practices in tourism. And I know that there's a lot of clients that share this vision we have, and perhaps they want to be part of the beginning of this project. So this would be a very nice experience we could have together. So thank you, Maru. Thank you.
No, thank you, Ale. It's really interesting. Actually, Misminay is one of the, when we have our feedback forms returned to us after the trips, it's one of the highlights of the trip, of course, along with Machu Picchu. But I think that what people value a lot is the experience they share with the people. No, they really connect, like what you were saying. It's about reconnecting. And in the case of Misminay and the communities we work with, it's also broadening your mind to understand how people see the world in different ways. And as you know, in our Andean countries, Mother Earth is of great importance. No, we all do everything for Mother Earth, and when you're in the community, you learn about that. You learn about how people plant the seeds, the importance of agriculture, the respect you have for the environment, and I think that those are values that we are looking to know more about. So
yes, totally.
It's really important. And the new projects that we are doing are, you mentioned the areas of Tres Cañones, which is it will be probably one of the highlights in the future. It's an amazing place to do adventure tourism and of amazing beauty. And also you said that's the Rainbow Mountain.
The Rainbow Mountain also, yes. We try to fix some basic and quality they have, and so we can improve the tourism there. No, it's like very political also, and we need to work with the hand with the public sector, and yet it's interesting.
Yeah, I guess that always working with communities is complex. The relationship you make with the institutions and the authorities, no, it's one of the main challenges probably.
Yes,
and that's why it's great that at Condor we have you, and you are a specialist in that. So thank you for all the work you do, and thank you for enabling us in the experience and product area also to have these meaningful experiences for our clients.
Okay, thank you, Maru.
So now, Jassi, how are you?
Hola, Maru. Good morning. Good morning from Quito.
Good morning, Jassi. Jassi, in your case, we want to know a little bit more about what you consider is the role of tourism in the conservation of natural areas.
Cool. Well, Maru, first of all, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. It is indeed a very easy subject for me to talk about because it's the main reason why I work in this beautiful industry. I also wanted to congratulate you guys for the webinars, you know, taking us to the Galapagos, and then a journey through Peru, Argentina, Chile, the Patagonia, and Bolivia. It's been fascinating to accompany our colleagues, and I was kind of upset you haven't invited me until now. So I'm very happy to share this space with the sustainability rock stars of Condor Travel, with Alessia, Ángel, Celina, and obviously you, Maru. Of course, you being a champion in Peru on sustainability work. And Alessia, whenever you want, my friend, you have a field assistant. So if you take me to the places that we were seeing on the images, I'm there with you. So getting to your very easy question, Maru. As you guys know, and as Alessia said, tourism generates many opportunities, right? As well as many responsibilities. And when it comes to our natural and cultural heritage, I think, you know, the landscape of opportunities is tremendous. But I think that the first element and the most important one is to recognize that both cultural and natural heritage are not only resources that we can simply use, right? This is not there for us to take, right? Our role begins to incorporate and understand those elements as part of our business plan, right? I think that's key, and a key and fundamental part of our business. Recognizing that without them, we do not have a business. That's another key element. And we depend on them to attract visitors to our destinations. And we depend on the local communities to protect them, but also to feel empowered, included, and benefited, like Alessia was explaining a couple of minutes ago. Once we understand this, we have partners, and with those partners, we can do wonders, as you guys know, right? We have examples today and success stories of how we have incorporated communities and natural areas in public and private land. We have supported development of accommodation. As you guys know, I started my journey in this business in the Amazon rainforest. I have, I think, 3 lodges on my CV of development. You know, we have created along with local communities. We have created cooking classes with local families. We have done excursions with a focus on handicraft and artwork. We have created adventure and exploration that Ángel will be telling us with complex logistics in remote areas, only possible with local communities, right? There is no way we can go into these remote areas and do what we do without the local community support. And the result of all of this results into unique, exclusive experiences for our clients, right? Positive social and economical impact, and huge contributions to environmental conservation and cultural appreciation and celebration. So our role is to continue leading this movement, Maru, with the support of all of these people joining us today.
Thank you, Jassi. Yeah, like you said, local communities are at the core of everything. It's the hosts that make the experience happen. We are only facilitators in this. And we have to take extra care to plan tourism in a way where local communities are being benefited. They get benefits from it. Jassi, and what do you think will happen in the future? Like, how do you see cultural tourism and experiential tourism will help us to come out of these challenging times?
Yeah, well, fantastic question. I think it's a dream for us doing sustainable development for many years. But I think that first of all we have to define the situation with the present situation, right? We've been in lockdown for almost 2 months, and we've been going or undergoing social distancing for a while now, and it's gonna be continuing like that for a little longer. And we are social creatures, Maru. We are desperate to go out and reconnect with our loved ones and ourselves, and with nature, of course, right? So that's kind of the current scenario. So to me, honestly, it's really hard to imagine people postponing for much longer their travel dreams, right? Okay. After this experience, we need something to look forward to, right? We will be pursuing ours and beloved ones' well-being. I think well-being is a key word at this stage, right? And we won't be pursuing only tick-off-the-box places to show on Instagram, right? I think that today, more than ever, the traveler will be prioritizing their time investments and the purpose of their trips, right? And I believe that unique and iconic sites like we have the luxury to have in our countries, and we are very fortunate to be able to promote them. and the responsibility to protect will be extremely popular. And that is a huge opportunity for everybody, right? And not only they're going to be popular, but they also mean a lot to the world, right? Places like Machu Picchu, the Galapagos Islands, the Pantanal, La Amazonia. These are all places that mean a lot to the world, especially now that we're not, that we feel like we cannot reach them. So the value, going back to your question, will be in giving meaning to these experiences, right? Our ability to facilitate respectful, humane, sincere interactions. I consider that our clients today will be absolutely selective with the type of interaction they will be looking for. And this is the new way of experiential travel. We will be contributing to the world, and I'm excited that we are facilitating this reconnection.
Yes, it's true. It's interesting times. I think for us, it will bring fresh airs and responsibility, and like you said, purpose, and knowing the impact that you are doing with your travel will be of highest importance now. People will be wanting meaning and will be wanting to create a better world and have a positive impact if they travel, when they travel. And yes, we can't wait to travel. That's true.
Yes.
And what do you think about nature and ecotourism? What do you think will be the future of it?
Right. Well, as you guys know, at Condor, we've been working on these concepts of ecotourism, responsible travel, and sustainable travel for decades, right? So that's not new to us. Mm-hmm. And despite the fact that this type of tourism has huge relevance, I believe, so far it's been seen something as for a specific market, even for a niche, right? Compared to large cities or sun and beach destinations. I think that today the dimension of looking for remote areas, open space, small locally owned and run accommodations, for example, far from cities and agglomerations will be the new luxury, right? So mm-hmm. we are in this perfect position of being creating all of this wealth of knowledge at Condor for, only myself 20 something years, and we all together, we probably have hundreds of years of experience together. I think that's a fantastic moment for all of us. And I also think that in addition, this global crisis has shown us the strength that nature has to regenerate, right? You were saying about Mother Nature. I was thinking that Alessia was going to bring Pachamama to the scene, but yeah, nature has a huge strength to regenerate. And we hope that this does not remain as something nostalgic from this moment, right? We cannot think, oh my God, remember while we were on the pandemic that the dolphins went back to Venice. We cannot think like that. No, this is happening, and during this pandemic, it becomes a real commitment by everyone to take care of the planet. Right now, we cannot go back on track. We cannot backtrack from this opportunity that we have, which will further highlight natural wonders, right? I firmly believe, Maru, that a lot more appreciation will be given to the planet. And also, I think that a lot more appreciation will be given to our job in the travel industry. So yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share a few of my philosophical takes. And I look forward to listening to the other guests on the panel.
Thank you, Jassi. Now we go to the Sun Island in Bolivia. Hi, Celina.
Hi,
How
Maru.
are you?
Hi, everyone. Good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Celina, we wanted to know a little bit more about your experience at Ecolodge in Isla del Sol. And also tell us a little bit more of how are things now at Isla del Sol? How are the events unfolding there?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for the opportunity of sharing with colleagues from Peru and Ecuador. It's really nice to hear what everyone else is doing and how everyone else is responding to this crisis. Things for us have been, just like for everyone else, really difficult since the beginning of the crisis, the outbreak of the virus. The reservations at our hotel started declining, I would say, around mid-March, and the hotel officially closed its doors to the public on March 19th. Since then, we've been trying to stay in touch with our workers. Everyone in the communities has also had to go to quarantine. As we are on this island in the middle of the Titicaca Lake, the communities that we work with are really isolated, which is a good thing in itself, because they are staying safe. We're making sure that they're following procedures at home so that they're not getting sick. Although this is sometimes difficult as well, because it's complicating for them to have supplies, because they're in the island, so they have to take a boat to go to the nearest town, which is Copacabana. But fortunately, given that it's a peasant community, people are dedicating themselves to their crops, and it's harvest season now on the island. So people are relying on their own production. They have potatoes, fava beans, habas, corn, different kinds of tubers. And they're obviously also grazing donkeys and llamas and sheep, right? And so at least they have those activities to stay busy and to provide them with food. Now, the fact is that right now the whole community relies on tourism. It's not just our staff members and our providers, but really the entire community lives on tourism. The Isla del Sol has become a tourist destination that is known worldwide. Everyone wants to travel to Titicaca Lake at some point in their lives. It's on many people's bucket list. And particularly beginning in the 90s, it's where we had a boom on the island. And that has meant that the communities had to begin to interact with tourists with many new possibilities of how to engage in tourism. Particularly as we started building the lodge in 1999, so we've been running for 20 years now. And from the beginning, the idea was to interact with the community, to be able to not only provide jobs, right, but to also make sure that what we were offering, the experience that we were giving the guests was genuine, and it was able to show a little bit more about what the lodge or what the island is about. And obviously, tourism, when you have the opportunity, when tourism arrives somewhere, it's really, it generates lots of, it has a multiplier effect. And it not only generates, in our case, we are not only generating jobs for our regular staff, people who work with us every day, but we're also creating opportunities for suppliers. In this case, for example, people who pilot the boats, or the porters, that work with donkeys and llamas to bring up the luggage up to our lodge, or suppliers, people who bring us the fish and the habas and potatoes, and so really what we're trying to do is that distribute the benefits of tourism to the community where we work with.
Yes, that's important. I see the beautiful images that you are sharing. Lake Titicaca is a very special place.
Yeah, it's what we try to do is we know we have the privilege of being in a spectacular place. It's this island is known for its for centuries, for millennia. It has been a place where people go for worship, for this is a spiritual gateway. People want to find something special when they go there. And what we want is that we want to generate value for our guests. We want our clients to leave the lodge with an idea of what this island is all about. Yeah. For us, from the very beginning, the idea was that the Ecolodge wouldn't be an imposition on the place, that it wouldn't be something that we brought from outside with our own ideas of what it should be, but rather that we would rescue the ways of life of the local. And I think that's what people who are going to be traveling, like Jascivan was saying, they're really going to choose where they want to go, and they want to make sure that it's a special place. And so at the lodge, we offer different activities that show our guests what this island is about. We're really focusing more on providing activities for our guests, so that when by the time they leave, they have a sense of what this island is about. So, for example, we're working with local women from the community of Chaya, which is a nearby community, and they come to the lodge and they show how they work with the textiles. And this is something that is very interesting because it's really at risk of being forgotten by the local community, how to weave, what meaning weaving has. And so when women come, they're not only getting empowered because they're receiving an extra income, but they're also remembering what textile is all about. And it's a really nice interaction that guests can have with the women that are weaving right in front of them. And it's allowing for a special interaction that wasn't there before, that is going to give the guests a feeling of connection, of understanding, of empathy, of really sensing the place and leaving with a very enriched experience of what it is that happens on the island of the sun. So this is the kind of work that we try to do, and we really think the same as the other people on the panel were saying, is that it's going to be really important for us to consider how we're going to put communities that we work with at the forefront of our strategies once the quarantine is over.
Yes, exactly. Like always keeping in mind that value goes both ways, that we always have to have in mind how are we going to impact the communities, and what are the hosting communities wanting from tourism, besides giving great experiences to our guests. What you said about weaving is really interesting, because something similar happened here in Peru. And thanks to tourism, people started weaving again, because it takes a lot of time to weave, and it's costly. And because of tourists buying these amazing handmade weaves, is that it has restarted. And also weaving is very important in our Andean world, no? Like even from pre-Hispanic times, you will find this amazing thing, beautiful pieces made with natural dyes in the tombs of the people. So weaving is very important for our cultures. So it's great that people are getting to understand what it means in our culture through the experiences you are catering in the Sun Island. Thank you, Celina.
Thank you, Maru.
And now it's time of Ángel. Ángel, like I said before, it's our regional operations manager, and he's in the front of the line. No, he's in charge of delivering the experience to your guests. Hi, Ángel. Hi, how is everything in Cusco?
Hi, guys. Thanks once again for allowing me to be part of this. Well, in Cusco, it's dry season. It's really nice during the day, sunny outside. I think it's in many areas along the Andes of South America. Fortunately, things here are not as crazy as probably in other parts of the world. But anyway, so I'm right now in my kids' bedroom. I think I find kind of like, because they're all outside playing and running around. And I think this is the quiet room for now. So yeah, happy to be here with everybody.
Thank you. Ángel, what do you think is the role of ground operations in responsible tourism? What do you think we can do on the ground to be certain that we are giving the best experiences to our guests, and also and being responsible also?
Yeah, well, this question could actually last hours, and I think most of you guys already mentioned a few bullet points. But what I actually face or have been facing during my career is that once a program is already implemented, there is a group of people that need to put that in practice. And I think, there is sometimes, in general, I would say, there is a big gap between what actually could be planned behind the scenes versus what could actually be implemented or done in the field. So that being said, I would say, like, one of the first things we need to finish understanding, or at least fully understand, is that what's behind responsible tourism, right? The tourism is not the goal. Tourism is basically a mechanism that you guys already said and use that word, opportunities. It's a mechanism that gives opportunities or generates opportunities for local communities. You mentioned experiences, homestay, culinary activities, being part of the culture, etc., etc. I think this has to be well applied from the operations perspective. A guide or a tour manager that goes to these places need to fully believe that interaction, interpretation, and all these kind of things that we always talk when delivering, the experience for our travelers need to be well presented. So once again, I don't think that this has to apply to communities only. It has to apply to other tourist attractions as well. I think Jassi was saying when visiting Galapagos, for example, how responsible as a traveler, as a guide, as a tour operator we have to be when going to Machu Picchu, when going to Iguazu Falls, Patagonia, the Sun Island, or the Lake Titicaca, a museum, or just, visiting a square, a park. I think leading by example, that should start with us. That definitely should start with people in the field that are delivering this experience. As I said, this starts definitely with everyone that are behind this business. If we don't believe in traveling responsible, then we should find something else. This is not the job for us. I think you guys already mentioned this, and so 100% a big role for operations, for tour guides, tour managers, a driver, and everyone involved in the developing of a program once in the field. So that's kind of, I would say, a little bit of what actually I could share from the ops perspective. And different actions that we could actually, or best practices that we could actually implement to minimize any negative, I would say, effects that, of course, tourism also, if it's not well done, could bring. Wherever we go with groups of tourists here and there, we come across children, we come across people on the streets, like posing for a photo with their animals or something like that. You go to different parts of the world, you're going to come across this kind of events. I would say being responsible, it's also a part of us in order to create policies, I would say welfare policies for people, right? For children, for example, for animals. I don't understand that in this century we're still using donkeys or mules to bring people up, to bring supplies up and down. I think we have to think different after this COVID-19 when it comes to wages and insurances for people that work in the field. And right now we're facing, and I think Celina mentioned something like that, that these communities are also in quarantine, and somehow they were seeing tourism as like the main machine, the main engine that was bringing incomes to the family. So this is something that we also have to think for the future. Just moving a little bit from this, opportunities now need to be more better implemented, because sometimes opportunities could be given, but then once those opportunities are given, somehow we could leave a community or a group of people high and dry and without giving them support in a short or long term. Other practice that we've been doing here, and we were just talking about this the other day. I try to reduce the use of plastic, so I have my travel canteen, my bottle, wherever we go. A fair price, as I already mentioned, when going to a market, a local market, or going to visit a community, try to make sure that we don't necessarily abuse or tourist abuse of bargain or something like that, and vice versa. Locals also not taking advantage of that. So a fair price could actually work on this when it comes to purchase any souvenir. The use of biodegradable products on the field, not only on the field, and I think Alessia has been doing a great role trying to implement that in our offices. And as I said before, that starts from our homes. Work with local guides, hire local, consume local as much as possible. And I don't want to go farther with this. We do have an amazing training called Condor Travel DNA, that we've been doing that for a bit more than 2 years already. And this brings the whole community together. A local community, tour guides, tour managers, drivers, the office, everyone, in order to open up a space, the free space that they could actually contribute, talk, and learn to be better tomorrow as an organization, as human beings. And last but not least, I think what we wear, our uniforms, and if we could actually contribute with the community by purchasing something that could actually have a value, and I think you were talking of a value, we could start looking into, and I think Condor Travel, we have been doing this very well, like working with companies that have a value. It doesn't end there; it goes farther than that. So right now, it's better than ever, better than before. We need to respect all these protocols and guidelines that we're going to use to be more responsible tomorrow. So I'm not sure if you guys have questions so far here.
No, thank you, Ángel. You've mentioned a lot of things. One of the things I like the most about what you said is our Condor Travel DNA program. I really like it because there we focus not only in good practices and first aids and all those like hard knowledge, but also in storytelling. And storytelling it's very important in sustainable tourism, in responsible tourism, because it puts a lot of attention in the interpretation we are making of the sites, the attractions, or of a culture. And we are really thorough in making that a very real one, an authentic one, well-researched. And that's one of the things that you and your team are always working on giving the best interpretations and learning a lot about the places that you're going to guide and visit, so we can give our guests the most valuable information. No, that's really important. And what you said about the uniforms, yes, we're really proud. They're all made with recycled plastic bottles. And we're always trying to work with suppliers that are aligned with what we think, and always trying to be better. I think it's something that doesn't stop. No, you're always trying to get better and to be more responsible. And I think that also means that we have to see us a lot and really see what can we do better, in what ways we can, and it's true. Thank you very much. Guys are the men and women at the front, and they are the ones that also will be the bridge between the hosts and the guests. So they are of uttermost importance in the interactions and experiences. So,
correct.
So I don't know if you want to say something else, or should we go for the next question? This is more like a wide question for some of you.
Yeah, I just want to add something very, very short. It's a word meaningful. Everything we do in the field or purchasing something that we're going to be wearing or using, it has to have a meaning. It has to go farther than we could actually see or touch with our hands, right?
Yeah, yes, it's true. So now, where do we go? What is the importance of local experiences? And responsible tourism in the future of our industry. How do you think that tourism will be starting now? What do you think, Celina, will happen for the future of tourism?
Well, I think if anything, this crisis, what it's showing us is that we have to do things differently, and I think that we have the privilege of being in very special places and interacting on a daily basis with people that have knowledge that we don't have, as people that that come from the city or that have a particular kind of education. When we interact, when we go out to the countryside, in this case to the island of the sun, and we interact with people from a different background, with different life experiences, with different knowledge on what you were saying before, how do we work the land, what does Pachamama mean, really what are our customs as a community, right? I think we have to take this opportunity to know that there's a lot of value in that, and we have to make sure that what we are offering as tourism providers has to really take out the most genuine aspect of these communities and make sure that as we're doing that the benefits of bringing tourism to these places gets distributed amongst everyone, all stakeholders in the project. I think it's a good opportunity to really cater what we do to particular needs, to very niche markets, people that are traveling, with an eco mind, that are really want to take care of their environmental impact as they travel, and we have to show them that we are willing to bring up our standards in terms of environmental conservation, in terms of interaction with the community, in terms of distribution of the economical benefits of the activity. So it's a good opportunity for us to continue what we're doing, but also why not really commit more to the kind of work that we do. And I think, the people that are here on this panel now, we all have been doing really good work with our communities, but this is nothing else but than a much bigger opportunity to do things even better.
Thank you. Ángel, do you want to add something? What do you think will be the future in travel?
Yes. Now in this current situation that we have, we are experiencing with the pandemic, it's obviously some things need to change. And it's important to mention that once the tourist activity is reactivated, we must have like a better articulation in the sector. It's no longer an excuse to acting only individuality, like in sustainability. It means to improve our communication and work between tourism companies, but also with public sector, even with universities and other institutions of the tourism sector. And it's something that we already do. And for example, that Misminay is like have this, I don't know, like this good achievement is because we have do this articulation. So we need not longer to work like locally. We also need to have a bigger macro vision of tourism activities, because, for example, we need to adapt us to implement some protocols that allow not only to ensure the health of our passengers, that it's something that the market will expect of us, of tourism sector, but also to ensure the sustainability of destinations. And this is very important. And we can do that to have a better sustainability in destination only when we work together. And this is important to know. And it's also like sustainability. It's was already a focus in the market. It was already important for the market, but now the interest of sustainability will boom, and we have to adapt us like a sector efficiently. And if we achieve this collective awareness within the tourism sector, clearly local experiences will also improve and rise to another level. It's everything connected. And so this regains even more importance for the market. So yes, we need to be organized and make some change together.
Yes, Ale, like you said, we are together in trouble.
Yes.
Yes, we are working together, and more than ever, we need to work as a community. It's completely true, no?
Yes.
And Jassi, what do you think will be needed for the recuperation of tourism and the reinvention of tourism?
Hey, Maru. Well, what I personally need is to work for Celina now. Sorry, Alessia, you lost your field assistant. And I fully agree with everybody in terms of we are all in this together, right? With the hashtag, of course. I mean, as responsible citizens, Maru, we all have a responsibility in our countries to be part of our comeback, right? Ours in South America is to help generate income to the most remote places, where it is very difficult for our governments even to get, right? Where the most vulnerable people live. I think tourism has the capacity not only to reach these places, but also to make contributions to poverty alleviation, development of social entrepreneurship in rural areas, and make contributions to conservation or generating incentives for conservation, right? I think the key message here is tourism generates immediate income. Tourism generates distribution of wealth immediately. Tourism generates jobs immediately. Tourism educates visitors and locals. Tourism motivates the protection of mountains or our natural water reservoirs, tropical mega diverse forests, our oceans, right? Tourism show alternatives to communities to develop their local economies in a more sustainable way. Now, in the absence of income, put fragile ecosystems in danger. Tourism can prevent immigration to the cities that generates poverty. I look to the future with great optimism, Maru, and opportunities to continue sharing with my family, of course, and visitors from all over the world, the wealth we have, and take this responsibility with pride, as we can make huge differences, I think, in our planet by promoting tourism as a tool for conservation. So that will be my final message.
Thank you, Jassi. Very precise, as always. And yes, we're all going to move to Island of the Sun, Celina. Prepare.
Oh my
You're
God,
welcome
yeah.
whenever.
Take me there
Please.
now.
Ángel, do you have any final comments about this? What do you think will be the future of tourism? Your mic. You have to turn on your mic.
Sorry. I believe for sure that COVID-19 will leave us a lesson, a big lesson. For example, we see natural spaces now with more vegetation. You know, it looks like animals return to their homes. There is less pollution. So in that sense, we all have to be more responsible and empathetic with the person next to us, with the planet. And of course, if we do that without being forced, I think we could live sustainable, and that's gonna help not only the tourism industry. I think that's gonna help the planet. So I believe also that everyone involved in this industry, us that we're here, as I said before, tour guides to talk about my team, transport companies, etc., have a big challenge, and that starts once again with policies that should go aligned with our values. And of course, if you don't have the passion for traveling, then out of here. So this game has to be played by all of us. We shouldn't be only sitting in our homes and waiting if the government is going to send something. And I think it's, of course, the government, it's the health organization, it's the tourism organization, it's us, it's everyone, it's you that is watching us there. You also are part of this movement, of this change. So I believe that we will sound a little bit egocentric if we define or guarantee how tourism is going to look like in the near future. Hope the near future, but I'm sure that things won't be the same. Example: independent travelers, FATs, perhaps small groups. There is, of course, a big group of people that are more vulnerable than others. You already mentioned what it would look like in the future. We also need to be transparent with our protocols and guidelines for COVID-19. That's key for how we're going to look in the future. Opportunity for innovation, technology, be more prepared than yesterday. Things should not go back to normal. I think normal wasn't working well. If we go back to the way things were, we'll have lost the lesson or the game, as I said. And may we rise up and do this better together.
Yes, well said. Well said, Ángel. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Ale. Thank you, Jassi. Thank you, Celina. Thank you, Ángel. And thank you, Rose and Ine and Claudette that are on the backstage for this webinar. Time is up now, but we wanted to let you know that we're here. If you have any questions, or if you want to dream with us on creating new things on the line of what we've talked about, please reach to us through your account executive or at agent hub at condortravel.com, where we will be receiving your email. And now I didn't want to go without telling you that our next webinar will have all the things that we've talked about this one. It's about Amazon. It's about Ecuadorian rainforest. And Ine, can you please put the slide?
Yeah, I'm having some technical problems, so we will be sending the flyer out soon. For some reason, the slide isn't coming up right now. It should be showing.
Right, it should be showing.
So, sorry, there we got it. Okay, there it is.
Okay, so this next webinar would be about Amazonian Ecuador. You will have Jassi again, as well as Diego. And
thank you, Maru.
Of course. And they will be talking about ecotourism and the ways that we're working in these pristine environments that, like we've said, are part of the natural heritage of the world. And we are lucky enough to have them in our countries. So without further notice, we wanted to thank you for listening to us, and have a great day. See you next Wednesday on our Wednesday webinars. Have a good day.